Hi, what's up? Welcome back. Today, I am doing an oldie but a goodie, Daft Punk Face to Face. If you haven't heard this song, then you're in for a treat. If you've heard this song, then you already know what I'm talking about, and I'm glad you're here anyway. So, anyway, let's get into it. A song about conflict, resolution, illusions, expectations, reality. Let's go. Okay, before we keep going into the song, this was the era of Daft Punk when all their music videos were like this ongoing anime storyline going over the videos. And sometimes it would make sense with the videos, sometimes it didn't always, but it was always really cool visual to watch.
What's going on? Could this be my understanding? It's not your fault. I was being too demanding. I must admit, it's my pride that made me distant. All because I hope that you'd be someone different. There's not much I know about you. Fear will always make you blind. But the answer is in clear view. It's amazing what you'll find face to face.
Okay, so let's get into the lyrics here. The first part is just him going, face to face. So he's saying face to face now, face to face, like really emphasizing, this whole thing's about doing stuff face to face. So we're gonna skip past all that and get into the very first verse, which it takes a long time to get into. But you gotta set up, you gotta build drama and tension, even musically, especially musically. Anyway, so when he gets into this, when he says, "What's going on? Could this be my understanding? It's not your fault. I was being too demanding. I must admit, it's my pride that made me distant, all because I hope that you'd be someone different." Now, I think this is very interesting because what he's saying is like, it's essentially like he's meeting someone's like, he's like, he's questioning himself in a sense, like, what's going on? Could this be my understanding? So basically, he's wondering if he's the one who's miscommunicating, if he misunderstood things, which is why he's like, what's going on? Could this be my understanding? Am I misunderstanding things? And then it's like, it's not your fault. Like, you didn't really do anything wrong. I think I expected way too much from this interaction or for the potential of what this was going to be. Because he even says here, I must admit, it's my pride that made me distant, all because I hope that you'd be someone different. Essentially, their meeting wasn't what he thought it would be, had higher expectations for it, but because he's so proud, he can't admit that maybe he misjudged the situation or maybe I was wrong for how I interpreted things, all because I didn't really get what I thought I would out of this, and it's not what I thought it would be. So it's really my fault for setting these expectations, and it's not really your fault that you didn't meet them. And so then that goes into then it goes into there's not much I know about you. Fear will always make you blind, but the answer is in clear view. It's amazing what you'll find face to face. Essentially, he admits doesn't really I don't really know you all that well, but the fear of the unknown, maybe the fear of the unexpected, will often keep you from seeing the truth. Because a lot of times, like when you have fear or even irrational, like fear in healthy doses can be a good thing, but if you have an irrational or unmitigated fear, it can make you blind to reality, blind to the truth, because you're viewing everything through a lens of fear. And that's when it ties into the fear will make you blind, but the answer is in clear view. Essentially, your own anxiety, your fears will make you blind to reality when it's really right there in front of you. And it's amazing it's amazing that you'll realize that when you're willing to face things head on and face, what things really are outside of what you imagined or what you were expecting. Cool. Let's get back into the song.
I thought you were the problem. Tried to forget until I hit the bottom. But when I faced you in my blank confusion, I realized you weren't wrong, was a mere illusion. It really didn't make sense just to leave this unresolved. It's not hard to go the distance when you finally get involved face to face.
Okay, so the second verse here, when he says, I turned away because I thought you were the problem, tried to forget until I hit the bottom, but when I faced you in my blank confusion, realized you weren't wrong, it was a mere illusion. Essentially, this is like the person in the song, or him, not being willing to take personal responsibility yet for his own conclusions, for his own reaction to things. He has to push it off like, no, the other person must be a problem. They were the thing that caused everything to be wrong. So if I get away from that, I'll get away from the problems, which is like, I tried to forget until I hit the bottom, because essentially he kept running away from his problems, not facing the real root cause. But essentially, when I faced you when I faced you in my blank confusion, essentially, once they got back face to face and was able to look this person back in the face, he realized they weren't the ones who were causing the problems. I was making all these problems up myself. I was the root cause of everything that was happening, not you. I had to blame you because I didn't want to accept my own culpability for my own choices, my own maybe rash judgment, my own incorrect, conclusions, so to speak. And it says, it really didn't make sense. Hold on. It really didn't make sense just to leave this unresolved. It's not hard to go the distance when you finally get resolved face to face. Essentially, I take that as like at the end, it didn't make sense to leave this all in the air, to not address what has happened between these two people, the miscommunication, the false assumptions, misconceptions. And this person, I think, at the end is finally willing to face these things head on and resolve it, because he realizes that nothing will be solved if they don't ultimately. And that's when he said, it's not hard to go a distance. Essentially, it's not hard to succeed or do better or to progress when you're finally willing to confront things or confront other people head on and maybe even face your own wrongdoing in the situation, so to speak. You can take it that way. Anyway, let's wrap this up because my battery's almost dead. Okay, so that was Daft Punk, Face to Face. That's a favorite of mine. I really enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Do you have your own thoughts on it? I'd like to know. And until next time, I will talk to you later. Peace. Oh, I made it before my battery ran out. Good.